Hey everyone, welcome back for another video. My name is Tanya for those of you that are new here, and I am a watercolor and acrylic artist. So I am going to be painting a Cosmo today. I was out in my garden and I was really inspired by some of these Cosmos that are growing in my garden. And I cut a few and I want to paint one for you. All right, so I've got my Arches watercolor paper, I've got my Koi watercolors, and I've got a couple brushes here. I've got a Filbert 6 and a round 6. And I have my water and my paper towel. All right, so the colors I'm going to be using today, I'm not really sure what the name of these colors are on the Koi, but because I usually use the Winsor Newton ones, but this is kind of like a permanent rose and then like a cad yellow. So those are the two colors I'm going to be using today, but I'm not really sure what their names are with the Koi watercolors. All right, so I'm going to take my round 6 and I'm just going to dip it in my, my yellow. And I'm just going to dab the center of the flower, and I want a little bit of white space still showing, so I'm just making little dots, leaving some white showing. And then I'm going to take my Filbert, and I made a little wash here of that permanent rose looking color, and I'm just going to dilute it really good with some water. And the Cosmos got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got 8 petals. Sometimes they're in a, here, let me take this out of the water so I don't spill water all over my painting. Sometimes it's kind of like a cup shape where all the petals are nice and big and round and they are overlapping each other. And other times they're like this, where they actually have space in between them. But they all have a little bit of a jagged edge. They're not like, it doesn't come to a point. It just has like a little jaggedy edge on all of them. And it's a little bit like thinner in the middle, and then it branches out. So it's a little bit thicker and then it comes back together, but that jagged edge I was talking about. And some of them have these little lines in there, which are beautiful, which I love. Others are more solid, like that one. So it doesn't really matter what your Cosmo ends up looking like. There's so many different kinds of Cosmos out there. All right, but I'm going to be taking my watered down permanent rose, and I'm going to start from the center and branch it out. So I did a curve, like a C curve one way and a C curve the other way. And I am hitting the yellow. I just want to grab some of that yellow, so it's more of a peachy color. I'm not doing the purples that I just showed you. I want to do these in my own colors. So I hit the yellow and it bled into the petal. And I did one here and one here, and then I want to make sure I can get 8 on here, because sometimes when I just go all the way around, I don't have enough room for one, or I did too many or whatever. So I'm just going to do one on each other, going this way, top and bottom, and then side to side, and then I'm going to do the ones in the middle. So here's another one. So they're just little C curves and they come together, and you can make it kind of jaggedy at the end if you want to, like I just showed you. And if you don't like that look, you don't have to. It could be just a nice, it's your painting. You can make it just a nice round, crisp edge. And then I'm going to take another one. And I could have waited till these 4 dried, so it gives it that overlapping look, but I don't mind them all bleeding together like this. But if you want to give it more that overlapping look where you get a little bit of the lights and the darks, then just wait for those 4 to dry and then do the other 4. So it's a curve, and then I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of a rough edge like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash off my brush and just squeeze the excess water out of it. And I'm just going to lift some of that paint right in the middle. I want to just make them a little bit lighter in the middle, so it kind of gives the effect of that one flower I showed you with all those lines. Now, if you want it to be more solid, you could have just left it nice and solid like that. Pretty. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it, like this one here, actually Actually, I think this is my 0. I'm doing a 0 round right now. I'm just going to give it a little bit of an outline right on there. You don't have to. This is just something I'm doing. It's not even that the Cosmo really even has it. It just has all these little yellow I think they're called pistons coming out of the middle of the flower here. So you don't need to do this part, but it's just something extra I just want to do. I just like the look of a little bit bolder in the middle of the flower. So I'm just going to kind of come in with that permanent rose, and it's not diluted. I picked it right up from the little container, from the little well, and I just dabbed it on like that. Now I'm going to take my filbert again, and it's just damp, but there's no water on it, and I'm just going to bring some of that out. And you could do it even on the edge of the petal. So I'm using my filbert. There's the thick way and there's the thin way. I'm using my filbert the thin way. And I'm just going to bring some of that pink out onto the edge, just to kind of enhance a little bit of that line that the flower had. Look how pretty that is. All right, I am going to do it again for you, but I just wanted to show you again what the 2 cosmos look like. So this flower that I painted is a little bit fuller like this one, but it's got a little bit more of the streaks like this one. And actually I can make a lot more streaks, but I think I'm just gonna leave it nice and plain like that. But you can also just kind of play around with it and see how you like it. It's your painting. All right, I'm going to start with the yellow again. Let me move this over. I'm going to start with the yellow again, right in the center, just dotting it. Okay, wash off your brush. I'm going to pick up my filbert, and I'm going to take my little pink wash that I did here. You could do a purple wash, you could do a yellow wash, whatever you want. And take it from the middle out. So one curve this way and one curve this way. And then again, just to make sure you can get all 8 petals on there, I do the top and bottom, and then the 2 sides, and then the ones in the middle of those. And these are nice and delicate light flowers. I just wanted to do some nice light flowers. But you could always push your colors a little bit if you want to. All right, I'm going to take my brush. I'm just going to lift up a little bit of the middle here. These are so light that you might not even see it. On some of them you do. There, that one you saw it. And then I'm going to rough up my edge here a little bit. Some of them are already roughed up, so I don't need to do too much. And then I'm going to bring in my pink again with my 0 round. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a border, like that. And I just tapped it on. Take my filbert again. You can take a round for this part too, it doesn't matter. I'm just doing it with my filbert. And I'm using the skinny part of the brush. And I'm just pulling a little bit of that pink out on the edges of the petals, like that. And you don't have to do all the petals if you don't want to. Just play around with it and see how you like it. And then you might have to soften it back up if it pulled a little too much out. Just soften it back up. A little water. Look how pretty and delicate that is. I love it. Now, I didn't pull any of the greens from the Cosmos, but their greens are so pretty. It's just very feathery-like. So let me go ahead, and I wasn't going to do this on this video, but I think I will. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of my green. And let's see, I'll make a little wash here. I've got a little green and yellow mixed together. And their leaves are just very delicate. And they're very delicate, like almost like a feather. Very soft too when you touch them. And it's just a bunch of little lines like this. And then you might have like another little stem coming out, and then a bunch of more little. And they're just kind of long and soft, feathery, very delicate looking. And I'll pull another one out like this. And you can make them a little darker if you want to. Let's see, let's go ahead and add a little bit more of our green in there. So if you want to go ahead and touch it in certain areas while it's still wet, then it could bleed. And then you've got a little bit of push and pull of the lights and the darks. So it's not so just one color. Now you can do two ways. You can start from the stem out, which I think is a better look because it's just a little bit thinner at the edges. But if you feel more comfortable, just with a light touch, you can bring them in to the stem as well. Okay, so you could do either way, as long as you have a really light touch. And then I think I'm gonna bring in a little bit of a darker green. Let's see what that looks like. Just touch it here and there. And smooth it out. So pretty. It almost looks like an evergreen right now. I don't want it to look like an evergreen, but it's starting to. So I'm just gonna make more because there's a lot of them. They're all just together. Look how pretty that is. All right, and I got a little water. So there you go. So I just wanted to practice a couple little cosmos with you, and that's about it. I think I'm going to go out in my garden and pull a few more flowers, different kinds, and maybe just keep doing more videos with my flowers for you in the next couple days because everything is in full bloom right now. Okay, so if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to this channel if you want more videos like this one, and have a great day. Bye.